All right, I think we're ready to kick things off. Hello, everyone. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Joseph. I oversee our MLS partnerships here at CubiCasa. So excited to chat with all of you today as we introduce you to CubiCasa, walk you through how you can use our tool to create floor plans, and really to elevate the experience with your clients. I'm also joined today by Daniela from our success team. She'll give us a quick look at the dashboard where you can access, edit, and customize your floor plans. But to start out, I'll spend about 15, maybe 20 minutes or so with you walking through a few things. First and foremost, what CubiCasa is in general. We'll talk about the benefits of floor plans and why they're important to include on your listings. And then we'll take a look at the technology itself, so the actual mobile app that you're going to be using, and the different types of floor plans available to you, including our all-new virtual tour called CubiCasa Tour. From there, we'll pause to cover any sort of questions that have come in, and then I'll toss it over to Daniela to dive into the product a little bit, show you that dashboard and how you can access all of your features. As we're walking through everything today, please feel free to use the Q&A function in Zoom to send over any questions that you have. We'll be keeping tabs on that as we go. We'll also share some links in the chat box, so don't forget to follow along there. And at the end of the webinar today, we'll leave the room open for about 15 minutes or so, just to allow time for additional Q&A. So we'll make sure that we get all of your questions answered. We're also going to be doing some holiday giveaways at the end of today's webinar, so don't forget to stick around to see if you are one of our lucky winners. With that, I think we are finally ready to dive in. So CubiCasa has one main goal here in the US, and that's to bring a floor plan to every single real estate listing across the country. So to start off, let's talk about the why behind that, what our tool is and how it works, and how you can help us on this mission to improve the home buying experience for consumers in your market. So right now we are seeing a floor plan demand gap in the US. Consumers are asking for floor plans to be included. They're already familiar with them on the rental and multifamily side of things. But when we look at active listings, floor plans are only included on around 15 to 20% of them. And if we look at the NAR Home Buyers and Sellers Survey, I'm sure some of you on this call are familiar with it. One of the questions that gets asked each year is what website features on a listing are considered the most valuable? And what we can see is that floor plans are the most desired add-on for consumers outside of the basic of all basics. So photos and detailed info about the property are always going to be number 1 and 2. I personally don't really count it as a listing if it doesn't have the 2 of those. So we can see floor plans being in that top spot. We know the demand is there. If you look at this report from any time over the last few years, the results have remained very much unchanged, with floor plans continuing to be that top requested feature, even outranking things like virtual tours. But why are floor plans so important? I think the easiest way to boil it down is that it helps buyers understand a property's fit for their lifestyle. If you are on a search portal, for example, you pull up a listing, you're swiping through the photos on the carousel, you're essentially learning about that property room by room or sort of piece by piece. But when there's a floor plan available, you have that easy to view and easy to understand quick glimpse into the entire property as a whole. It allows you to see the size of the rooms, the flow between them. You can learn if and where current furniture will fit. But most importantly, you'll understand if the property layout suits your client's family and what they're looking for. Are the kids' bedrooms near the primary bedroom, for example? Or on the flip side of that, are the kids as far away from the parents as possible? Is there a dedicated space kind of off the main action of the home that could be used for a home office or a guest space? A floor plan is really going to be the best way to understand the property, make sense of those types of questions, and can even help you to tie all of the listing photos together, since each photo is typically just of one single room at a time. So now that I've got you thinking about the benefits of floor plans just in general, why should you add those floor plans to every single listing? There's a few key reasons that I like to highlight. First is that it allows you to stand out. So when you include floor plans and really just great media in general. One of the real world examples that we're seeing a lot of success with is agents will actually scan the property while they're on site for part of the listing presentation. So not only are you showing this potential client the extra work that you're going to put in to create awesome marketing materials for the home, but then you've got a nice and easy touch point the following day when you can get back in touch with that potential client, the homeowner, share the floor plan that you created of their property, and go back over how you're going to use that to market the home. And plus, because floor plans are still kind of gaining traction across the country right now, it's an easy way for the listing to stand out, and then for you personally to stand out as being that sort of forward-thinking agent in the market. And the second key reason to note, as we just talked about, consumers want to see floor plans. So this is a really easy way for you to appeal to potential home buyers and can even help you to generate better qualified leads who know and understand that the property fits their lifestyle and what they're really looking for before taking any sort of next step. Now, outside of just new listings, you can also use CubiCasa to provide helpful resources to your buyers. So you can scan homes as you're touring them and be able to provide your clients not only with the floor plans, but also some of the additional detailed reports that we offer to help them make the decision of which home to actually move forward with. We have a feature called snapshots that allows you to take photos as you're walking through scanning the property, and then you'll get a floor plan report showing all of your photos next to exactly where that photo was taken on the floor plan within the space. So this is a nice way to highlight key features of the home that maybe aren't included on the listing photos, or if you're working with first-time home buyers, for example, a nice way to capture things like the electrical panel or the water heater, water tank, those sorts of things where they'll have the photo visual of what that is and where it is, but then the floor plan showing them exactly where it is within the space. Incorporating all of this into the day-to-day while working with buyers is not going to take you a ton of time. So this is a really easy way to show value to your clients as you help get them into their next home. I always like to highlight as a best practice, if it's not your listing, just be sure to check in with the listing agent before you actually scan the home. So everything that we've talked about thus far is kind of about floor plans in general. How does that lead into what CubiCasa is and why I'm talking with you today? So to give you some high-level background, we started a number of years ago essentially as a floor plan redraw service. But we've evolved into what we are today, which is an amazing mobile app that allows you to quickly and easily scan a property in just a couple of minutes to create an accurate floor plan. You will showcase the layout of the space, of course, like you see on the top right there, but then also be able to generate things like the individual room dimensions that you can then use to populate the listing and to share with those potential home buyers. Now, I'm sure you're visioning this in your head as being a very complicated or technical process, maybe even time consuming, even though I did just say 5 minutes. The good news is it's probably easier than you're thinking in your head. If you look at this image on the right-hand side of the screen, that's pretty much what you'll look like as you're scanning properties. So to begin a new scan, you'll open up the app, enter in and confirm the property address. And once you start that new scan, it will pull up a camera type view like you see there. You'll hold the device up and walk the perimeter of the entire interior of the home, scanning each room as you go. Once you've captured everything inside the home, you can capture any outdoor spaces that you want featured on the floor plan, things like porches, patios, or decks. As you're walking through scanning, you're also going to get real-time feedback. So this helps to make the process as easy as possible for you as the scanner if you're moving too quickly, for example, or get too close to a wall. But the more important piece of that is it allows you to get the most accurate scan, so you'll get the most accurate measurements and floor plan as the end result. Last thing to note about the app is it is available for both Apple and Android devices. Any device from the last 8 to 10 years will work for you. Next, let's take a look at an actual scan in action. Unfortunately, I can't show a live demo of my computer kind of following me throughout the space that I'm in as I scan. So this will be the next best thing. I'm going to send over the link to this video in the chat box in just a couple of minutes. Since we're over streaming, it can sometimes come through a little blurry or choppy, so you can take a closer look just by clicking into that link. To note what this video is, you're going to see a screen recording of the app itself. So you'll see exactly what the process looks like as you begin your scan and as you're walking through the property. And then the secondary view that you'll see along the bottom is actually just filming the woman as she's walking through scanning. So you can get a feel for exactly how she's holding her device and kind of walking throughout the space. So first up, when you select that new scan, you will select the property type. So single family home, townhouse, apartment, condo. You can scan any type of property, and you'll be ready to walk the perimeter of each room in the home, scanning as you go. You'll see that real-time feedback pop up here that I mentioned. It's sort of this red caution tape across the screen, helping you to correct things in real time along the way. You'll scan all rooms on the interior of the space. So we saw that closet area, the bathroom, that was a living area that we just saw there. Without pausing or stopping the scan, once you've captured the inside of the home, you can step outside to capture any outdoor spaces like this deck area here. You can even scan things like detached garages or ADUs, all as part of that one single scan. Once you finish scanning, so you've captured the entire interior of the home, you've captured any of those exterior spaces, you'll submit the scan directly in the app, and the floor plans will be available to download within 24 hours. It really is just as simple as you saw there, holding your device and walking around the space with your phone. The scanning process will work on all different types of properties. So in that video, we got a quick glimpse into a couple of interior areas. We saw that deck and hot tub area on the back of the home. I always like to show this example here of a pretty non-traditional layout. We've got curved walls here, which are always a pain to measure. There's a pool in the backyard. There's an ADU off of the main home. All of this was captured as part of one single scan. And the same process will be true for homes with multiple stories. You just need one single scan. In those situations, we recommend starting in the basement or lowest level of the home, working your way up through the home from there, scanning the staircases as you move from level to level. And again, there will be no pausing or stopping as you walk through the property. So as you change levels, you'll continue scanning. As you move from the inside to any outdoor spaces that you want to capture, you'll simply continue holding your device and scanning as you go. Now, if you're joining us today, it's likely because we have already partnered with your MLS to bring these floor plans to your market. So now we'll take a quick look at what's available to you once you've completed the scan of a home and the different types of floor plans that you can then create and use from there. First up is our basic floor plan, which we call light, and is what you see on the screen here with this example on the left-hand side. All of our MLS partners and their members, like you guys, will have unlimited access to these free floor plans. This is a really great option to start making floor plans a little bit more standard practice when you're getting your next listings put together. It's going to cover properties up to 5,000 square feet of scanned area. So that will include the internal square footage, as well as any of those outdoor spaces that you capture. And it's available to save with or without the room dimensions included. So the example you see on screen, and I know the text is probably pretty small since we're over streaming, but if you can see two lines of text, there's the name of the space and then the dimensions listed below. Those dimensions can be toggled on or off. So if you just wanted more of like a marketing type floor plan, you can save it out with just the names of the space included. Last thing to note with this free option is that there is no credit card requirement to use this. So you can scan as many properties as you'd like, and you don't even need to add a credit card to your account. On top of this free basic floor plan, there are a number of optional add-ons that you can choose from. Everything that we offer is all created from that same 5-minute scan. So there's nothing additional that you need to do. And it's all available on an a la carte basis. So you can pick and choose what you want or need for each individual property that you scan. This slide here shows our 3 most popular options. Light is that free floor plan that we just looked at a moment ago. Plus is an upgraded option that unlocks a number of different features. The key piece of it here is the fixed furniture. So you'll see things like appliances in the kitchen. If there's an island or wraparound countertop, that will be drawn into the floor plan, as well as fixtures in the bathrooms and wet spaces. So tubs, toilets, vanities, all of that. It also allows you to customize the colors of your floor plan, which you see a sample of here. You can save out multiple versions. So if you wanted a simple black and white for the listing, and then have a colorful option with maybe your brokerage logo uploaded as well on that bottom corner, you can create that for Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, printouts, takeaways for open houses, things like that. You can create some really awesome different types of floor plans. The Plus package will also include some different reports that you can offer to your clients. The Home Report, which will give you a room by room and level by level breakdown of the space, as well as snapshots, which we talked about, where if you take photos as you're going through scanning, you'll get that snapshots report showing where each photo was taken within the space. And it will also include our all-new CubiCasa tour, which is the interactive floor plan that you can create just from your floor plan as usual and the listing photos that you're already using for the property. Lastly, here we have got the Plus 3D, which includes everything that we've talked about thus far, alongside, as the name implies, a 3D style floor plan. The 3D floor plan will have colors and textures matched to the space as closely as possible, and it will also include loose furniture. So things like sofas, beds, dining tables, all of that will actually be drawn onto the floor plan just to help better visualize that space. In addition to these three kind of main popular options, there are some different add-ons that you can choose from. We offer a GLA report or gross living area report. This is typically used by appraisers if we've got any joining us today, but I'll give you a closer look at this report in just a moment. Essentially, it will show you the livable versus non-livable square footage of a property. And then these last two options, I mentioned those basic floor plans will be turned around within 24 hours and cover properties up to 5,000 square feet. If you need your floor plan faster, that's an option for you. And then if you do have a property that goes above that 5,000 square foot threshold, there is an additional cost associated with those larger properties just due to the increased production cost on our end. Lastly, we have our lineup of 3D style floor plans. This is a style that a lot of apartment communities are already using. It just helps better visualize the space with stuff in it, making the consumer better able to understand what the home would look like with their stuff in it. So Plus 3D is what we talked about. That will give you the actual 3D floor plan image, kind of looking down into the space. Again, it will have those colors and textures matched and include the actual loose furniture within the space. If you choose to select a Plus 3D floor plan, you can also add on a video rendering, which will be a couple minute long walkthrough of that rendered space. One of the common questions we get is regarding your scanning path through the home. Will that determine how the video looks? The answer is no. We'll clean up the video so it shows the home in its best light. We'll select the route through the property that makes the most sense and is the most visually appealing. Lastly, we've also got CAD files available. This will actually include both 2D and 3D files, helpful for any sort of digital modeling needs. If you're working with clients who want to flip the home, remodel the kitchen, take down a wall, any sort of project like that, these are going to be editable files, so you can plan all of that stuff out digitally before you actually go in and start any sort of renovation or even demolition of the home. So as you can see, there's a number of different options that you can quickly and easily create to be able to enhance your listings, but also just to provide great resources to any of your clients on either the buy or the sales side. As a reminder, with all the products that we just looked at, you're going to have unlimited access to the free light floor plans for properties up to 5,000 square feet. And then many of our MLS partners have sponsored additional benefits for their members. So be sure to add your MLS affiliation to your CubiCasa account. We'll show you how to do this in just a moment if you already have an existing account. Or if you are new to CubiCasa, when you do go to create your account, just click through our link on your MLS dashboard when you first create the account, and that will ensure that the MLS affiliation is automatically entered for you and ensure that you're getting all the benefits that your MLS is offering. To give you a closer look at some of those different reports that we talked about, I always like to come back to our GLA in case we've got any appraisers with us. As you can see, you'll get a simple PDF document that includes all the necessary details and calculations that you need, making it very easy to just upload directly into your appraisal software. You're going to get consistent results that are aligned to ANSI standards, so it matches exactly what you need. And even for agents joining us today, if you're just looking to show the livable space in a home, if you've got a partially finished basement, for example, or if areas on the top floor of the home have low ceiling height, this is a great option to show that breakdown of livable versus non-livable spaces, and you'll get a very easy to read floor plan, green versus red, for livable versus non-livable. To highlight some of those different reports that are included on our plus style floor plans, we've got the home report and the snapshots report. Home report, which you see a sample page of here in the background, will have a cover page for the property with all the high level details, beds, baths, total square footage, if there's a garage, that type of info, and then dive into that level by level and room by room breakdown of the space, which you see a sample of on that page. Snapshots, again, allows you to take those photos as you're walking through scanning the property, and then you'll get a report at the end with each of your photos next to the floor plan with an icon similar to what you see on the home report, pinpointing exactly where that photo was taken. So again, just a great way to locate key features in the property or those things that are maybe new to first-time home buyers. In addition to these reports that you'll see included with our Plus floor plans, you'll also be able to create our interactive virtual tour of the properties that you scan with the all-new AI-powered CubiCasa tour. So this tour allows you to take the floor plan that you're already creating, upload the listing photos that you're already taking for the property, and have an automatically generated virtual tour created. It's going to be a hosted experience, so you'll have a URL that you can just copy paste into the virtual tour field of the listing, share out on social media, wherever you want to blast it out from there. I'm actually going to switch over my tab just to give you a live view of the tour that we're looking at here, so you can get a feel for how you interact with the tour experience. So once pulled up, this will be the live view for whichever tour you create. You'll see the floor plan on the left-hand side of the screen. On the right-hand side, you'll see just very similar to a normal photo carousel where you can kind of swipe through the photos, and you can interact with the tour in two different ways. So on the floor plan itself, you'll see all of these little hotspots. Each of these is clickable and will take you to the photo that was actually taken in that exact spot. On the other side of the tour is that photo carousel. You can simply come over here and swipe through the photos, and you'll notice if you look at those hotspots on the floor plan, the color will change to show me exactly where I am within the space. So it's just a clean, simple way that you can kind of take the content that you're already creating for the listing, so the floor plan and the photos, and kind of marry them together in this more interactive experience. It's going to be super fast and affordable for you. So a great way to have more of that interactive experience for consumers with each of your listings. So that's everything that I wanted to cover in terms of what CubiCasa is and all of the available products that you can create. So from here, there's kind of two different paths that you can take. If all of this sounds interesting to you, you want to have floor plans created or maybe some of these 3D options as well, but maybe don't have the time to scan your properties or just don't want to scan them, that is totally fine as well. The good news is that we work with a number of photographers that actually include our floor plans as part of their regular interior photo shoots. You can get connected with local photographers based on your actual location. By logging into your CubiCasa account, you'll see them front and center, or by scanning this QR code here on screen. Either of those options will again take your actual location and show you those local photographers that we work with. Now, on the flip side of that, if all of this sounds interesting to you and you want to create the floor plans yourself, you want to be able to go in and edit and customize all of the options, I always like to highlight our amazing support team. There's a lot of different things that you can do, a lot of things that you may have questions about as you're getting started with scanning. You'll be able to reach us at any time. We've got live chat baked into both the mobile app and the desktop site. That will be the fastest and easiest way to reach us. We've also got a priority email inbox specifically for our MLS partners like all of you guys, which is just mlshelp@cubicasa.com. So now moving into next steps for you to get started. First up, of course, is to create your CubiCasa account. If you haven't already, you can do so by clicking through the CubiCasa link on your MLS dashboard. If you already have an account created, you've downloaded the app and logged in, Daniela will show us how to add your MLS affiliation after the fact here in just a moment. And then once your account is created, you'll be ready to start scanning and getting floor plans for all of your listings. It really could not be any easier. You're going to be helping to give consumers exactly what they're looking for when searching for their next home. I always recommend download the app, do a test scan of your own home. You'll get a feel for how fast and easy the process is. You're also probably already familiar with the measurements in your space, or at least have a general idea of them. So you'll get a chance to see how accurate the floor plans are as well. So that's everything that I wanted to cover on my end. I've included a QR code here on screen for those of you that would like to learn a bit more about how you can use floor plans as a real estate agent. We'll pause for a moment to review any sort of Q&A that has come through, any common questions that we want to share, and then I'll toss things over to Daniela to give us a quick look at the dashboard and some of the features and tools that you can start using today.
Thank you, Joseph, and thank you for everyone who's been putting their questions in the Q&A. Feel free to keep them coming. Some questions that I would like to highlight for the group is a good question we got, and you might have already seen this in the chat, is how accurate our scans are. So our average accuracy has been tested to be 95 to 97%. If you do have a lighter device, it is slightly more precise at 3%, but like Joseph mentioned earlier, any device within the last 10 years will still give you pretty accurate results. The most important thing to consider with accuracy is just make sure you follow our best scanning practices. You will get those best scanning practice tips when you first start your scan. And we'll also link an article here in a little bit of where to go find that as well if you need to reference it at any other point. Another question is how to scan smaller rooms. So if you are scanning small bathrooms or even smaller closets, you can simply just walk into that area, make sure it is captured on your recording, and then step out and continue with the scan as normal. A tip that I always like to make is before you start your scan, make sure that all the doors and that you plan on walking through are opened. Do not scan or do not swing a door in front of the camera, as that can throw off the location marker within the camera. So if you do need to open a door, it's not a problem. Simply turn the camera away, open the door, scan, and then proceed as normal. But it does make it a little bit easier if it's already opened for you as well. And you can scan outdoor areas as well. So if you do need to go outside of the main dwelling to scan a garage shed or any additional dwelling unit, you can step out as far as 300 feet away from the main dwelling to scan that additional space within the same scan. So those are just a few tips for you. Keep adding in your questions. We'll be covering them throughout the webinar and at the end as well. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to the dashboard view to show you guys some of the key features that will be available there. It looks like it's loaded for us. So once you create your CubiCasa account, you will be able to access your dashboard that I have pulled up here. You'll also have access to the CubiCasa app that you'll download through your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. You will use the same credentials for both accounts. The only difference is that you will create the scan recording through your app. Once you send it for processing, then it will be available through this web version where you'll have additional options to customize and edit the floor plans as well as adjust features within your account itself. So once you sign in, you'll always log into your dashboard page that I have pulled up here. And at the top, you will have access to our preferred photographer networks that is geolocated as per your location. So if you do want to create a floor plan through one of these photographers, they are available there for you. And at the bottom is where you'll be able to access your most recent orders. To open up an order page, simply click on that address. And at the top, you'll be able to see your order address and you'll be able to edit it as well. You'll notice that you have different tabs available here as well. And the first one will be your 2D tab. So this is where you'll have access to your 2D floor plans. If you do decide to go with the Plus package, then you'll have access to your CubiCasa tour, which you can create by uploading the photos, then selecting your cover photo, And the last step, you just have to generate the tour. It only takes a couple of minutes for it to generate. And once it is completed, I will show you here what that looks like. Let's see. Let me just refresh here. It's being a little funny for me. All right. So going back to that order, and then going to your CubiCasa tour. Once it is loaded for you, it will look a little bit like this. So you'll be able to actually preview the tour as if it were completed, and you'll be able to navigate through all the different photos. If you notice for whatever reason that you need to change any of the location markers or anything within the floor plan, you can actually do so under the quick edit tool. And you can use the quick edit tool not just for the CubiCasa tour, but also for your 2D floor plans. We did get a question earlier if it can be used to modify the light floor plan free version, and you can use the quick edit tool for that as well. So to adjust the tour icons within your floor plan, simply select the floor you want to adjust on the corner, select the location tour icon on the left-hand side menu, and then select the location marker that you want to adjust, and simply click and drag with your mouse to adjust that location or orientation as well. You'll notice this pop-up box appear where you'll be able to also modify the order that your photos appear in. You'll also be able to upload additional photos, hide photos you don't want to show, and even add photos that the AI system wasn't able to automatically match through the floor plan. All you have to do is simply click and drag it where you want it within the floor plan, and now you have that location marker created. Like I mentioned, you can also adjust other features within your floor plan, such as the labels themselves, where they're placed. You can hide dimensions. You can also increase and decrease the size of the text, and even add line measurements if you want to include the measurement of a wall, for instance. There are other features that can be done through the quick edit. For the sake of time, I won't be able to cover them all for you, but I will show you here in just a moment where to go find our Help Center knowledge base that includes step-by-step instructions on how to change and modify your 2D floor plans with this tool if you want to take a little bit of a deeper dive on this later on. But once you have saved your changes at the top, you can wait until it's done loading and simply exit out of the tab, and your new tour will appear updated here for you. Once you're ready to share, simply select the share icon at the top and you'll be able to share that link. If you want to deactivate that link later on, maybe when the listing goes off market, you can choose to do so through this option as well. You can also choose to select whether you want to show or hide the property, the dimensions of each room, or the property address as well. The next tab is your GLA. So if you are an appraiser with us today, or you are someone that needs accurate measurements of the livable versus non-livable space, then I highly recommend going with this GLA option. Not only will you be able to see the GLA measurements at the bottom of your 2D floor plans, both with the light and the plus, but you'll also be able to receive this ANCI aligned floor plan as well, that provides you with a clear distinction between livable versus non-livable spaces in the floor plan. The next tab is your reports. So if you go with the Plus package, you can receive our home and snapshot reports here as well. And lastly, the 3D products are available under this tab, which include our 3D floor plans, 3D video renders, and CAD files as well. If at any point you want to upgrade to any of these packages we discussed today, you can always do so under the upgrade icon at the top. From here, simply order the products you would like to have, review your order, and once you send that off for processing, we'll go ahead and send you an email notification once those products have been completed and delivered back to your account. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the orders page specifically. I do want to go under your settings, and if we go under company and your MLS membership, if you are an MLS member with us today or you have multiple MLSs, it is worth checking to see if we have an active partnership with your MLS. You do not need to create a new account in order to affiliate your account with an MLS. All you have to do is type in your MLS name, your MLS login ID, select verify account and hit save. And if we do have an active partnership, you will see that MLS discount code applied to your account. The next step is your billing. So there are no hidden or monthly fees like Joseph mentioned, but if you do want to go with any of the paid products, here's where you can go to add in that payment information and where you'll also have visibility into any invoicing that you do receive. If you ever need to see a detailed view of that, simply select View Detail and you will get a detailed breakdown of everything that you have purchased per order for that billing cycle. And again, that's only applicable to you if you do decide to go with the upgraded products. If you just want the free light version, you don't even need to add a credit card on file. Lastly is your styling. So if you do go with the plus package, you'll be able to brand and customize your floor plans and really go as crazy as you want with that. So if you are new with us, you can get started by selecting Create Style. From here, you can go through all our different customization options, such as your logo, the color scheme that you want per room space. We do have default styles available that you can preview from. Our most popular one is earth tones, and you can adjust things like the label text font, the color, even how the letters are casted on the floor plan itself. There is a disclaimer text that does appear at the bottom of all of our floor plans, and you can choose to remove it entirely or add your own if you are more comfortable with that option. And lastly, there are different measurement methods available for you. So the light does not come with any total square footage calculations at the bottom, only those interior room dimensions. The plus automatically comes with the gross internal area. So this is the square footage of all interior wall-to-wall space, does not include exterior wall thickness. And if you do go with the GLA add-on, you can receive those total calculations for both the light or the plus. And if you don't want any of those shown on your plus floor plan, you can simply unselect this feature entirely. Once you save your template, it will be shown here. And if you have more than one created, you can choose which one will be your default for all orders made through your app automatically so that you don't even have to select it. And to adjust an order that has already been made, you can go back to your order or dashboard page, click on that specific order you want to adjust, and simply go to Change Style to select that template you've just created or edited. Wait a couple of minutes, refresh the page, and that new style will appear for you on your page for download. So that is everything I wanted to cover with you guys today. If you ever have any questions or need to review anything that we've covered, you can always do so under this chat bubble that will follow you around the screen wherever you go. If you expand it and go under the help section, here is our help center knowledge base. It's a keyword searchable database where you can find more information on things like our best scanning practices, the quick edit, and other features that are available for you. So it's a great resource there to self learn. And then under the messages is where you can get a hold of our amazing customer support team, where you can click on send a message and start a live chat with any of us, and we'll be more than happy to help you with any questions that you might have. So that is all I had for us today, Joseph. I will pass it back to you to close us out.
Right. Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm going to get my screen reshared here. So bear with me one moment. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. Hopefully this was helpful to get an introduction to what CubiCasa is and how you can use our app to create awesome floor plans for your listings and when working with your clients. While I touch on some of the additional questions that came through, Daniela is going to select our randomly drawn winners, and then I'll have her come back on to share those winners, and then we will leave the room open for about 15 minutes or so just to allow additional time for Q&A. So first, I do want to direct everyone's attention over to the chat box. We sent over a couple of links there, some different articles regarding accuracy and what devices you can actually use. I also sent a link to the video that we watched earlier, that how to scan video. So if you want to come back to that, and a link to our general help center. This is a keyword searchable help center. So anything that you need help with, you can type a couple of words there and it will show you step-by-step articles of walking you through what that tool or feature is and how to best use it. A couple of the questions that came through that I think are worth sharing with the group here. So the dashboard that we just viewed a moment ago is the desktop version. So when you log in on your computer, that is what you'll see. The app is going to be a little bit different view. The app is what you'll use to scan properties. You can download the floor plans directly in the app. But if you do want to use the quick edit tool or dive a little bit deeper into those customizations and things like that, you'll want to log into the CubiCasa website from your computer, and that's where you'll be able to access those additional features. There were a couple of questions regarding your sign-up process. So you're going to want to click through the CubiCasa link on your MLS dashboard. That will pre-populate all your MLS benefits when you create your account. If you are having trouble clicking through that link or finding that link, you can still actually just download the app and create an account directly within the app, and then head over to your account settings. You'll find that MLS membership tab, and you can add your MLS affiliation after the fact. Another question that came through was regarding multiple MLS affiliations. If you are associated with or members of multiple MLSs, totally fine. You just need one single CubiCasa account, and you can add those multiple affiliations to that one account. Last question that I think is worth sharing here is regarding the 3D video renderings. These aren't going to be branded. So this will not say CubiCasa on the video itself. You can download the video file and then you'll actually be able to add your own, opening and closing that you want. Typically, MLSs don't allow any sort of branding. So keep that in mind with what you actually upload to the listing and then what you use for your own marketing purposes. So that's everything that we wanted to cover with you today. We are hosting some additional sessions this week to dive a little bit deeper into all of those available products. And then we'll walk you through the quick edit tool and creating your custom styles from there. So be sure to tune in for those additional classes later this week. But before we wrap things up, I will check in with Daniela to see who our lucky winners are for today.
All right. Well, we have three prizes for today. Our first one is a free plus package. So, Deborah Hutton, if I am pronouncing your name correctly, you are the winner of that one. And our second prize is also a free plus, which is Keith Borkenhagen. And the grand prize, a free plus bundle. So you'll get access to all of the products that we covered today, along with the 3D products, is drumroll, Susan Lee. So congratulations, guys, on winning the prizes. I will be following up with you after today's webinar to make sure that those are added to your account and you're all set to go. And thank you everyone else for joining today's webinar as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, everyone. That is all we've got for you today. We're going to be here for the next 15 minutes, so please feel free to continue sending your questions in the Q&A. We'll be keeping tabs on that. If I'm seeing any common questions, I may send over a couple more links in the chat box, so you can follow along there as well. But thanks again for joining us today. Happy holidays and happy scanning.